Carl Edwards, Greg Biffle, and Matt Kenseth are driving Fords, and you could be too. Go to I'mDriving1.com to hear what the stars of Ford Racing have to say and register to win your own 2010 Ford Taurus. That is Greg Biffle you're riding with there, back in 14th position. He is a three-time winner here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And the 47 car now back on pit road.
Yeah, that thing just laid down all of a sudden, like the motor messed up or something. Don't know what they're working on down there. What is it, Shannon?
Well, right now the guys are working on changing the battery. They're looking under the hood. You can see that, just trying to diagnose it. Marcos Ambrose really didn't have a clear-cut explanation. He said one time he thought he was blowing up, and then he said it might be electrical, but they are changing the battery and just taking a look at everything they can right now.
Well, that's heartbreaking for that team. They had such a good car.
Talking about good cars, how about Jimmie Johnson now? Got to be a little bit of a surprise. That they know they talked about being good early on, but I thought Jimmy would lead a couple laps and then find a place to ride. I guess he has got a place to ride.
That's the best place to ride.
There's no traffic.
Yeah, you're gonna.
We talked about how Hendrick Motorsports wanted to finish 1, 2, 3, and the first ever trifecta finish for a single team. And Kurt Busch is trying to be the spoiler here because he is trying to move in now on Jeff Gordon for third position. When the day began, it was just 42 points. Kurt Busch in fourth spot behind Jeff Gordon. And right now, Kurt Busch running 7th on the racetrack. Jeff Gordon running back in 9th position. Up front, here comes Tony Stewart. And I don't know if you heard the story in NASCAR Countdown that Marty Smith was talking about. When Jimmie Johnson qualified on the pole,
you're the leader.
It was Tony Stewart he went to get advice from on where to run. Stewart helped him, and Jimmy got out of the car when he won the pole, went back to thank Tony, and now Tony takes the lead away. Dave Burns.
Tony Stewart's report on the car so far, just a little bit tight in the center of the corner. They'll make a wedge adjustment on their first stop to help that. As for Jimmie Johnson, he reported about 6 or 8 laps ago that the tires seem to have lost all the grip that they had initially. Vince?
Mark Martin, you recall in the pre-race show, the countdown show, he said, I much prefer the bottom. Well, as crew chief Alan Gustafson knows, they're going to have to run around the top at some parts of this race today. But right now, Mark says, in 1 and 2, I'm not too bad, but I am awful loose in turn 3. Either way he goes, he says, you cannot make me any looser, but somehow you got to figure out a way to make me turn a little better in the center. He's holding steady in the top 5, but not an ideal car here in the early stages for Mark Martin. Doc?
And again, as you said, he said that when it gets dark, our car's going to get better and better. Right now, he's just trying to hang on. He doesn't look too far in the rearview mirror because the guy behind him that's coming is Clint Boyer in this 33 car there. Andy Petrie mentioned that none of the RCR Richard Childress racing cars had won in 2009, and Boyer's got a good ride here at Homestead.
Yeah, him and Harvick both have really good cars, and so does Jeff Burton. I haven't seen Burton up in the top 10 yet, but I expect to see him up there before too long.
Yeah, he's moved up to 15th, and we know that's how Jeff Burton does it. He doesn't have the stellar qualifying effort, but he makes his way towards the front when it counts.
Talked about Burton's performance last week at Phoenix. He came from 36th starting spot to finish 2nd and was driving the car sideways. Another brand new race car and another car that's really hooked up to the racetrack here for him.
Yeah, I talked to him last night after the Nationwide race. He had such a good car, really had a winning car if the circumstances had worked out for him. And just talk about how just all the cars, everything, Nationwide Series and Cup cars over at Richard Childress Racing are running better.
Hey, watch these guys battle. Let you know that Dale Jr. has moved just into the top 10 now. He scraped the wall a minute ago, but it hadn't slowed him down.
Well, it was just a matter of time before that was going to happen because he was only an inch away from it from the start.
There's Juan Pablo Montoya in the 42 car.
You have no idea how loose this is.
He thinks it's funny.
My car was loose. I never was laughing too much about it personally, so it's nice he can have a sense of humor about it.
Well, he scraped the wall on Friday, spun out on Friday, scraped it on Saturday. And thus far, he's missed it today, but obviously the car is a handful. Here comes Bill Elliott back on the backside of Montoya trying to make the move.
Bill Elliott had a great qualifying effort up in the top 10, the 8th spot, hanging on pretty well here. That's the 17th spot. He's battling Montoya for the 16th spot. So a good run for these guys early.
Yeah, the Wood brothers spent 2 months building this brand new race car, and Elliott said it was worth the wait. He said it is the best car he has been in they have built in a year and a half.
And look at Boyer, how high he's running.
Yeah, watch the run he gets right here down the straightaway.
Looks like he'll probably be able to clear him this next corner.
Probably so. Although the turn 1 and 2, you can still get a good run down the bottom. But I think Mark's going to give him that spot right now. Or Clint's going to take it whether Mark wanted to give it to him or not.
Clint Boyer 4, top 10 finishes the last 6 starts, including a 7th last week at Phoenix. Well, the guy they're chasing in the points right now and the guy they're chasing on the racetrack is one and the same. It is Jimmy Johnson, or pardon me, there is the 14 car of Tony Stewart, and who has gone by Jimmy Johnson, who is in 2nd position. Stewart's now opened up a 9/10 of a second lead over Johnson. 39 laps in the books. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Riding along with the leader, Tony Stewart, as we remind you that Sunday in the comeback story of the year, Whitney Houston performs live. With 5 nominations, will Michael Jackson be the night's biggest winner? Plus performances by the Black Eyed Peas, Carrie Underwood, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, and more. It's the American Music Awards tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ABC. And our aerial coverage today is provided by Goodyear. New Fuel Max tires help you get there on less gas. Calculate your savings at GoodyearTires.com. Tony Stewart has opened up a 1.1 second lead over the would-be history maker, Jimmy Johnson, running in 2nd after 45 of 267 laps. Johnson leading earlier, making Mark Martin's challenge now Jimmy's goal, if Mark wins the race, 27th or better in this season finale. Now, besides Jimmy and Tony, the headline maker in the early going is Dale Earnhardt Jr., who started 32nd. He needed just 35 laps to enter the top 10, running an extreme high line that's got him up there scraping the wall, Rusty.
He is flat flying around the top of the racetrack, but he's getting too close to it. Right here, he scrapes into the wall. He's taking another shot, smoke pouring out of the car, but he's still going. He's still using the top side of the track. He's just going to have to be a little bit careful. We all know that's the line that he loves the very most, and it's working for him now, but hey, hold on a little bit, Junior. Don't get too crazy out there on us.
Just settle in, Dale. You're way faster than the field right now. Way faster than the field. Yeah, I'm not even running hard. It's just the right rear hurts y'all down so much it catches the wall and it just steers you into it.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. not even running hard? Wow.
I'd be telling him as his crew chief, don't run any harder then, because if you hit that wall, we're not going to be able to finish this race. The 2 is running really good, and he may be the guy that spoils the Hendrick 1, 2, 3. I know that Steve Letarte and Jeff Gordon were concerned about racing that 2 car all day, and as you can see, he's moving through the field really good.
I tell you, the Penske organization has really come around. This doesn't surprise anybody how good Kurt Busch is running right now. I mean, fast race car of light, Alan.
And while Kurt moves up, he takes a spot away from Mark Martin and kicks Mark farther back. So you see the reset numbers there. Kurt now still in 4th position in points, but trying to see if he can spoil the Hendrick top 3 sweep in the championship. So still in the pretty early going here as we head back upstairs to Doc DJ and Andy, and Kurt Busch looking impressive, guys.
Very much so. And driving the same car, Alan, that he won with at Texas. He named the car Patriot. He had the Operation Homefront paint scheme on it when he won the last time on a 1.5-mile racetrack. Now here's Jimmy Johnson running in 2nd spot, mired in some traffic.
Yeah, that's good. Good race for 2nd developing right here. You see Kevin Harvick in the 29 car and his teammate Clint Boyer right there in that 33. Well, it's a tight spot right here for Jimmy. Yeah, he does the right thing.
Yeah, and that's kind of why Harvick caught him, because he's been extremely careful around this traffic.
Whoa.
You can't blame him.
Look at this.
Boyer just almost gets into the back of Elliott Sadler, dodges the back of Sadler's Dodge. No pun intended.
I said, man, they call this a race, right? I'm going.
Clint doesn't have anything to hold back for.
Heck no.
He needs to get to victory lane.
Again, Johnson running in 2nd spot. Harvick and Boyer 3rd and 4th. Now it's Boyer and Harvick 3rd and 4th. 71 cars, Bobby Labonte driving the Chevy that he's owned by Kevin Buckler, that he signed to drive for the entire 2010 season. Here's a 17 car, former winner here in the pits, Vince.
The 17 of Matt Kenseth, you see, making a 4-tire change. They're making a chassis adjustment on the right rear as well, as Kenseth looks for a little more stability here in the early going. You see the time running at the bottom of the screen on that pit stop. Now the 5 car of Mark Martin. It started out too loose, but Mark says as the run went on, it got too tight in the center. They contemplated an air pressure adjustment in the right front, but ultimately he and crew chief Alan Gustafson decided they were going to leave it just like it is. Shannon.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 88 car. Great run going for these guys. It's a little bit snug for Dale Jr. He said, free me up. They're going to try with air pressure. It's going to be 4 tires for Dale Jr.